The SOG Voodoo Hawk Mini. Now, I will tell you this. I've got it under good authority that SOG has hired a voodoo woman who will cast a spell on you if you say something bad about the voodoo. Her name is Voodoo Mama Juju. And you got to be careful what you say about it, because at the end of this, I could be the devil. Unboxing first impressions of the Voodoo Hawk Mini. Let's get into it, guys. Let's just talk about it and discuss it. And look at this beautiful background we got here. Got this stupid plastic that doesn't want to come off. I hate this plastic. Where's my knife? Got a note. Check your pocket. This should help with voodoo draggers. Just sprinkle some on the hawk. Dave. P.S. You suck. Thanks, Dave. Sprinkle some of this on. What the hell is he talking about? Tony's Creole seasoning. What? He wants me to sprinkle some of this on to prevent voodoo, I guess. I don't know. Let's just do it, guys. This stuff's great anyway. A little Creole, a little Louisiana. Work its way right into that SOG voodoo. Now we don't have to worry about Voodoo Mama Juju. Stupid plastic, get out. Okay, all right. Feels good in the hand, guys. This has some weight to it. I thought it was going to be a lot lighter than this. I honestly thought that the weight had something to do with the plastic it was in, but not bad. But before we get into my first impressions and, you know, all that, I'm going to send it over to Dave, and he's going to give you the specs on the SOG Voodoo Hawk Mini.
Ah, yes, the SOG Voodoo Hawk Mini. Let us jump right in. The Voodoo Hawk Mini has everything the Voodoo Hawk has, but just in a smaller package. They say it's great for outdoors, backpackers, hikers, hunters, and paddlers. That doesn't mean use it to paddle your canoe. Actually, that's exactly what they mean, and please, when you do, film it. Just send me the video when you're done. Steel is made of 3CR13 with a bit length of 2 3/4 inches long. The spike has a good design that extends nicely from the hawk head. If you're curious about Rockwell hardness, they say it's between 46 and 52. The handle has a steel collar for extra support when using the glass-filled nylon handle. The handle circumference does feel nice in the hand, paired with the rib-type texture. The knob at the bottom is a bit different with a metal pommel, designed for smashing and bashing things. So if you're someone who likes busting nuts, macadamia, Brazil, walnuts, it doesn't matter. This voodoo may be exactly what you need. Last, but certainly not least, the Voodoo Hawk is weighing in at 23 ounces. With an overall length of 12.5 inches, this should be a fun hawk to throw. Now, before I ruin this video and YouTube any more than I already have, let me leave you with a fun fact. Voodoo Mama Juju was not SOG's first choice. They actually went with a voodoo woman named Phyllis. However, after she stole Bobby Boucher's daddy from him in The Waterboy, they ended her employment.
Okay, so the sheath, it looks like a typical nylon sheath here. It does have a flap that is has a little bit of wiggle room, I would say. But down here, this has some rigidity to it. So that's not bad. Basically, it's got a hole in the bottom. You put the knob through right here, and then the tomahawk, if you want to call it that, slides in, and then it snaps. Pretty decent. It does have a belt loop in the back here, have some rivets right here, and a little bit of stitching on the sides. It looks pretty good. The snap functions pretty well, snaps easily, and comes open pretty decent as well. All you have to do is just slide it down. Comes right out. Definitely has some rigidity to it, which is nice. But of course, guys, what we do with sheaths on this channel, we toss it. I don't need it right now. The SOG Voodoo Hawk Mini, put it in my hand. Man, this thing has some weight to it. I was not expecting it to feel I guess you could say this heavy. It's not heavy, but I just was expecting it to be a little bit lighter. I said the packaging I thought added some weight to it, but it didn't. It feels really good in the hand. The first thing I noticed when I put it in my hand is this pommel down here, this knob. It is pretty big, and it is a pommel for hitting things on, which is really cool. Also, one thing I noticed that I didn't care for as soon as I put it in my hand was the bolts down here at the bottom. As you can see here on the pommel, they stick out. I really wish SOG would have tapered those bolt heads in the actual pommel, so that way you had a flush finish. I don't like the fact that you can feel those, bolt heads sticking out, but there is that. We do have a glass-filled nylon handle, and the circumference on it is pretty good. I feel like it's a little bit thicker than the MTech USA Tactical Tomahawk that we did a review on last week. So it is a little bit thicker here. You do have the SOG name right here. Now getting into the actual Voodoo head, it's really cool looking. You do have a very nice elongated spike here. There's no edge on it at all, and the tip is a little sharp. You could put an edge down here at the bottom of the spike and the top of the spike if you wanted to. It'd take you a little bit, but you could thin it down and get an edge on it. I'm gonna do it. It does run nicely across, and it is even. There's no kicks in the forging of this or anything like that. It does look good. You do have some serrated ridges here and underneath where the beard's at. If you choke up on it, it gives a nice place to put your fingers to prevent your fingers from slipping off if they were. So you can put your hand up there to do some chiseling or carving work or whatever you want to do. So there is that. We do have some torque bit screws up here on the handle going into the axe head on this side, and you do have them on the opposite side. So if they loosen up, you can tighten them, which I do like that as well. The bit, let's take a look at it and see. Not bad, not bad. The cheeks are pretty thin. The bit does have a hard taper. It's not as hard as some of the axes we've done recently, but it is a little hard. I'm gonna have to go in and profile that bit and give it more of a narrow profile because I think it would work better sticking wise. As far as the edge quality, not bad. Not bad. It does have a pretty decent edge from the factory. I do like that. I like the fact that they put the time and effort to give it a decent bit. Could you use it out of the box? I think you could use this out of the box maybe for axe throwing. If I was to do work with it, I would want to sharpen it up a little more. And to be honest with you guys, I'm going to sharpen it up anyway because I like my bits really sharp for axe throwing. So I am going to put my own edge on it, but overall it's not bad. I do like the relief cuts that they put in the tomahawk head right here going towards the cheeks. That's really cool looking. I think that really makes the tomahawk head or voodoo head stand out. It's really cool. And of course you got a relief cut right here in the spike. Same on the other side as well with the SOG name on both sides. That's really cool. I really like that. Now, I told you guys in the last video when I was talking about glass-filled nylon handles, I don't care for them, I don't like them, I don't think they hold up. But SOG, and there's been a couple other companies, we'll talk about them later in the year, they do something different with their glass-filled nylon handles. As you guys know, I've done a lot of glass-filled nylon handle reviews and they usually always break. SOG has taken a little bit of an extra step. I don't care for glass-filled nylon handles, but I do appreciate SOG understanding that they break. And where they always break is right here. And that's exactly why they put the steel right here. It reinforces the break point where the axe head stops in this glass-filled nylon handle, which is going to be right here. You have a lot of pressure right here with this axe head stopping in the glass-filled nylon handle. When it hits the target, it's going to snap somewhere in here. It always does. So they've reinforced it with this piece of steel. I like that. And in my experience, I've done another review on a SOG that had a glass-filled nylon handle, and it worked out really well, and it held up to my axe throws, hard axe throws, sinking in the target and even missing. So I do enjoy the fact that they decided to reinforce their glass-filled nylon handles if they're going to use them, which is really nice, really nice. Now, doing a little bit of a weight test like we always do here. I got to make sure the mic isn't falling off. Okay, doing a little bit of a weight test and see where we're at here. Ooh, we do have a handle heavy Voodoo. Probably has a lot to do with this pommel down here, guys, because it is pretty robust and it feels pretty heavy, you know, for breaking stuff. Doing a little bit of a rotation test to see how well it's going to rotate in the air. We'll put it in our hand here and we'll see which way it rotates. Look at that, guys. Boom. Towards the bit, which in my experience, in my opinion, if you watch any of my videos, that test normally says that it's going to be a true flyer, meaning it's going to rotate in the air cleanly and we shouldn't have a lot of wobble. And that test usually works, guys. It does. So there is that. Feeling it in my hand and just kind of doing some like fake throws here. It does feel good, man. I'll give it credit. It feels good. Do I think it's going to be a good flyer? Yes, with one caveat. With one caveat. Not a big fan of this pommel. It's too big. I'm going to play around with it and see what I can do with it. I know I can throw it, but I think I could probably throw it better if this pommel wasn't so pronounced down here at the bottom. So let me play with it before I actually take it out and review it in part 2. Because as you guys know, I always take these things out in the second video and put them to test and see if they work out. Throw them hard, throw them for distance, throw them up close, do all kinds of trick throws, and then I come back and tell you guys what I think about it, if it's worth buying or not. And that's what we'll do in part 2. I'm going to play around with this knob. That's what she said. I'm going to say it for Dave. And see if maybe I can take it down a little bit and get a little bit thinner on the sides. If not, I might try to work something else out by taking it off and maybe putting something else down there, or custom fitting this thing a little bit better for use, in my opinion. So there is that, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the SOG Voodoo Mini Hawk. If you guys have any experience with these, please let me know what your experience is. This is the first impressions and unboxing. I have yet to throw one, so I don't know what exactly I'm getting into. I've got some speculations here, of course, with the glass full nylon handle. They normally don't hold up, but SOG gives you some steel right there to prevent that breakage. And of course, I'm going to test that. So there is that, guys. Let me know what you think of the SOG, if you'd buy it or if you wouldn't, just from the first impressions. I'm interested in knowing that too. Thanks for all the support, guys. I really appreciate it. And remember, come over to Patreon. You guys are missing out. I have 3 different tiers. You can join up for $1 a month, and you can win an axe, hatch, or tomahawk every single month, because that's how many times I do a giveaway, once every month. And they're usually these that hold up, that are of quality, and I'll send it to you. Thanks for all the support, guys. And remember, it's always for the love of these axes. But until next time, see ya. I actually hiked over here. I got my pack over there. Sometimes when we get some cool weather like this, I kind of just want to take a stroll. So I'll pack up all my stuff in my bag, my tripod, my camera, the axe, my drinks, which make great, the snow makes for a great cooler. I stopped at the store. This is all they had when I made my way over here. And hiked over here and set up everything. Sun's getting ready to go down a little bit, but what a beautiful sight.